Okay, so as you can see, I'm sitting here on my own, and why is that? Because it is just really, really busy at the office at the moment. We have a lot of phone calls, and why is that? Because this week on Wednesday, we had the interest rate decision of the Fed, and they announced that they keep the interest rate as they are at the moment, so it's pretty high, but it might to be expected that the interest rates will rise. And the market just did not like that. They really did not like that. And we saw that yesterday evening, for instance, it was Thursday evening, the stock market went down with almost 1.5%. Last week we had the ECB, they increased the interest rate slightly. They were not so clear about how much more they will be coming, but in the US, the interest rates are really high. And I've said it a couple of times this week, I'm really, really surprised about the fact that things are going as they are still going. I mean, you saw that the existing house sales in the US are slightly stagnating, so there's not so much sales going on. It's also obvious because the price for a mortgage has become really, really expensive. At the moment, we're talking about in the US 7% on average for a mortgage, where that was only a year and a half ago, 1.5 to maybe less, even zero. So, yeah, zero, not really, of course, a mortgage is never zero, but what I'm trying to say here is that the price to take out a mortgage has increased dramatically. And yeah, I personally think that will have consequences in the economy. Because if you think about, we're living here in Spain, a bottle of oil, 10 euros, a liter of gasoline, 2 euros, prices have gone up dramatically. That is not where I want to talk with you about today. I want to talk with you about BIT. Is BIT an interesting company to invest in? What is BIT? How big are they? What are they doing? BIT is the largest electrical vehicle producer from China. The company has a value of not less than 100 billion. 100 billion is the same size as General Motors and Ford together. So it's a really, really big company. And how are they performing? Well, the company is making profit, and not just a little bit. No, they make a lot of profit. The net profit for the first half year of 2023 was 3 times as much as the same period last year. So the first half year of 2022 compared to the first half year of 2023, they made 3 times more profit. How much is that then? They make 10.95 billion yuan of profit. Okay, but how much did they make last year? Last year the profit was not less, only, it was also still a very nice profit, was 3.59. So if you don't know how much the yuan is, 10.95 billion for yuan is the same as $1.5 billion US dollars. So that are the earnings. So they are really, really making a nice profit, and that is in total 192% more than what they were making last year. What is important also, if you compare them to Tesla, you might want to know how many cars are they delivering. Well, they have delivered 700,000 until the end of the second quarter, 700,000 new cars. Tesla, in the same period, did a delivery of 466,000 cars. So you see that, yeah, BIT is actually delivering more cars. Yeah, the continuous pressure that, or the expectations that there was a lot of competition in this market, made the stock price of BIT, yeah, a little bit standing under pressure. So the stock in the first part of this year did not perform that well. But all in all, the presentation of the figures made the stock price go up about 5%. At this moment, you can buy the stock for about 248 yuan. Also, if you look at the month of June, only in the month of June already, the sales, so I'm just talking about the sales, right? Not about the deliveries. The sales of the new cars were 253,000 cars they've sold. Last year, there was 134,000 cars. So almost 120,000 more cars have been sold in the month of June, more than in June 2022. So also there, very, very positive. If we look at them from a risks perspective, so are they only focusing on cars? No, actually not. They did a purchase in the US. They bought the US-based company Jabels, Mobile Electronics. They have a manufacturing business in China. For approximately $2.2 billion, they've acquired that company. And they make a lot of handset components, photovoltaics, so solar panel equipment and that sort of stuff. And they sell that specifically to large US companies. So they sell stuff to Dell, they sell stuff to Apple, to Xiaomi, and also to Huawei. What is important here is that Warren Buffett holds a stake in BIT of not less than almost 14%. So 13.97% of the shares are held by Warren Buffett, by Berkshire Hathaway. If Warren Buffett puts his trust in this company, for me that is always a signal that there is something interesting going on here. There's something interesting going on because of the fact that Buffett is not a fool. He knows what he is doing. He makes his homework. So he has a significant stake in BID. What else? If we look at the Benjamin Graham model about the calculation of the intrinsic value of the stock, taking in consideration the earnings per share at the moment, the growth expectation for the next 5 years, we can see that at this moment BID is making a profit or earnings per share of 8.25 yuan. If we look at the expected growth rate, there we are talking about, at this moment, the expectations about 7.97, so 8 times, 8% growth per annum for the next 5 years. That in combination with the current yield, etc. So you see in the screen the model in front of you gives us an intrinsic value of 168 yuan. You're buying it at the moment for 248, so you're buying it above the intrinsic value. If we look at the past growth, that was 32% per annum. So if we simply adjust the average growth rate to 10 to 12 to 13, for instance, you get at the actual intrinsic value. So what I'm trying to say to you here is that the growth rate expectations are low because there's a lot of fear for the rising competition in the market. But if they still manage, because we saw what they've done the first half year of 2023, to maintain these growth levels, then there might not be any problem, and the stock is really interestingly priced. I'm not advising you here, but I think it's good for you to take a look at it. Follow this stock for a while because it is an interesting company. They are really doing well. They're selling a lot of cars. They expect to do more. They're diversifying their business model by also focusing on electronic parts. So it's a big company, as I told you before, 100 billion market cap, which is huge. Worthwhile having a look at. I'm not saying that you should buy it, but if you're interested in electrical vehicles, BID might be one of the stocks that you want to study for your portfolio. Thank you for looking at this market reporters. Hopefully that I am back with you next week with Casper. And as he always says, give us your thumb and hope to see you next week.